we play again?
We got one person online. The workload is enough for like 10 users. I think we got a hacker.
Shall we play again?
Welcome to Monday, May the 13th. It is 5:42 a.m. It is early in the morning. This is your morning brief. So, some interesting things happening over the weekend. Talk about it on the podcast as well, part one. We talk about some SSH brute forcing. One of the things as well that was making the news today was an attack on cryptocurrency. But this was slightly interesting. The attack involved insiders. There was a SIM card attack, being able to, you know, when you get a new phone and you want to change your telephone number over to that SIM card, basically you have to phone the telco company up. They ask a couple of personal questions, and then they'll switch your phone over to that new SIM card. Well, they had a couple of insiders, this group, and what was interesting was that, you know, obviously they were going after the two-factor authentication. So when you would reset the password and use or reset the credential for the two-factor, they would send it to the new SIM card. So it's kind of like SIM card cloning, but it's a brand new SIM card. You know, so I always think, you know, it's very interesting when a lot of these attacks occur because people are, you know, obviously trying to think ways around the authentication mechanism. And so if you have an authentication mechanism, this is a good time to probably think about how you would get past your password reset. You know, how do people get away from those kind of things? There was another interesting one that was, you know, obviously there's another data spill. 10.5 million Australians' data was breached in the past 3 months. And that's you know, 40% of all Australians. You know, are we getting immune? Are we getting sort of blasé about these data breaches? It just seems like one comes after another, and whether it's like 400 or 300, you know, when they start adding like 30 or 40 million or 200 million, people just become blasé now. You know, it's kind of very much, you know, hey, you know what, it's just assume my data's out there by now. I always felt that the interesting part of the data was that, you know, 131 breaches were blamed on hackers and 75 on human error. And I think that's kind of indicative. As things become more and more complex, we're going to start to see more and more mistakes, more and more human error. You know, we are the people that create these things, therefore we are the people that can make those mistakes. But interestingly, you know, it's a fair, you know, 1 in 2 sort of data breaches were on human error. I mean, that's an interesting statistic. This is obviously based upon the Office of the Australian Data Information Commissioner's quarterly report. So, I mean, you know, BZ for them to, you know, actually promote this and actually put the information out there. Those are the two main headlines I've seen around the world right now. Again, all analysts have reported in. You know, Red Spy's uptime is 100% right now. Hopefully everything's nice, quiet. Let's have a nice, quiet week. I know. So I think in the podcast, I think me and Ian are going to be discussing about the Baltimore breaches and, you know, why a lot of military end up in the security field, because we do influence it once we're in there. So, as I said, that was May the 13th. It is 05:46, and that was your morning.
Shall we play again?
We got one person online. The workload is enough for like 10 users. I think we got a hacker.